Ross, Radcliffe on Saturday. It's a big game. You know, they're a side around us. How are you feeling going into it?
Positive, really good. I think we've had a few good results now. Difficult game Tuesday night at Scarborough, which I thought the boys done really well. So I thought it was quite an even game, but to go there and put our bodies on the line and work hard and sort of replicate a similar performance was really pleasing to see. So the boys have, natural to be tired on Wednesday. Some of the boys I heard today got back at 5 and 6 in the morning, the London boys. So that was a big shift from them. But we went up there in good spirits. We started fast. We looked nice and bright. So we look to take that in Saturday now.
And we've had a pretty decent run of form with an upturn in results. What's that down to? Have you changed anything in particular, or is it just character?
We've had really good performances. Not looking at the score all the time, but looking at the performances. Probably the last 8 or 9, we've had really good performances, bar the 7-0, which I thought was a bit of a freak day. So we put that aside very quickly, and we went back to sort of basics of what we're good at. And the last 3 games have definitely shown that. So we've always had it. I think it's making sure we get out on a consistent basis. So the boys know what they need to do on Saturday. We need to start like we did at Scarborough. We're going to tweak a few things though and see if that works. But the boys are in good spirits leading into this game, and they should be, because they're playing well. 3
clean sheets in a row. That must be really pleasing for you as well.
Pleasing for me, for the back line, for Loz, for the team. I can't really remember Loz doing too much in 3 games. Maybe the odd save, the sort of routine save, but limiting teams to not a lot is a good habit. We've worked really hard to do that. Loz has been a big part of that coming into the club, using experience in the back line and organising. Candice Carroll has been really good, and I thought Phil Crocker stepped in against Scarborough and done really well as well. So it's a real collective responsibility, but it gives you a real platform to win a game of football if you lock the back door. So we look to do something similar against Radcliffe. We know they're a difficult team to play. They're in and around us, they're fighting for points, but so are we. So we've had good intentions, a good attitude, and that will continue Saturday now.
And earlier in the season when we went there, we had a really good result, played really good football. Does that give you confidence as well?
It does, yeah. I mean, we played them such a long time ago. Their team, their messages, their tactics, their ideas might have changed, so we can't think about that too much. We've got to look at probably the last 2 or 3 games that they played, see if there's any common themes in there, similar to what we do with every club. So we've got early memories of them, but we need to make sure we address it properly now, and that's probably looking at the last 2-3 games they've played, really highlighting some strengths and weaknesses. They've got strengths, but every club will have their weaknesses, so we've got to do a little bit of work on them and see what we can put together for Saturday now.
And over the last few games, we've had a real mix of players coming in and out of the starting lineup. It is a group effort when it gets to this point in the season. Just how good has everyone been in and around the dressing room?
Yeah, really good. It's I think there was a bit of sort of a disjointed feel right at the early start, flipping between systems. But since coming back and speaking to the staff and trying to settle the group, I think it's been a much more settled changing room. I think there's a place for everyone here to play a part. We've had boys miss out for injury, through suspension, through just being dropped as well. Everyone stepped up to the plate if called upon, and it's the same now for the next few games. If you're called upon, you've got to do your best. If you're not, it might be the next game. And if you are called upon from the bench, you come on and affect the game. So everyone's got a part to play. So we've got difficult games coming up, but we know it's in our hands. We've performed really well the last 3 games. 2 games we've won, and when we've drawn against Scarborough. And I think that was an honest draw and probably a fair draw. So we look to replicate a similar performance, but try and get the win on Saturday now.
And I think I know what your answer is going to be, but what's the target for the rest of the season?
Win more than you lose, perform better than the opposition, run more, and just want it more. I think that's every game. Every club will probably say the same. But you're not going to win every game, but you've got to do your absolute best to perform in every game. And everyone has that in their hands, whether you go home now and you get the right food into you, the right sleep, the right fluids, you train properly, you recover properly. It's in their hands, the players. But what we do on the training pitch is effort, attitude, intensity, keep our standards, and we'll be totally fine. But if we drop them, we'll know that, because the last 3 games our standards have been really high. So be consistent with it and carry on.
Ross, thank you for your time.
Cheers.